Thank you for this invitation. I'd like to thank the President Rovessi Monaco, Professor Cammelli, and the Vice Chancellor Dionigi. I'm particularly proud to be here today at my own university at AlmaLaurea, because I think that this is a unique experience in Italy and one of great value. I'd like to congratulate you for your 20th year, and I also especially hope that this initiative will continue not just for 20 more years, but even 40 years, because I think it has been a great initiative and has given a great impetus to Italian universities. I'm in a strange position today because I'm here as Minister for the Environment, but I was Undersecretary for Education until a few days ago. So I'm straddling both areas, if you like. I'm going to intervene half as one and half as the other. The data that Professor Cammelli looked at before show and give a snapshot of the Italian situation. We know we have problems of growth, we know that we have problems of development, and we have important structural issues. And this has been photographed very clearly. And also what we have been shown is where we have to go. I'm sure that the new world that will come out of the crisis, will be a world characterized by competition on research, technology, and education. Clearly, we have to invest in these areas. We have to invest more than we have invested thus far. These data are dramatic. If we think that we can get into the new world after the crisis with this sort of investment and these data, we'll be losers from the start, because the new world will compete on the possibility of having a professionally competent and competitive ruling class and managing class. So we have to invest in R&D and the universities. And I must say this clearly, the linear costs which have affected the public administration in the same way without making any distinction between good and bad, well, these cuts have been made in the university and research, which have given us this situation today. So we have to affirm with strength that every euro that we spend in the university research and education is not expenditure, but investment in our young people and in the future prospects of growth for our country. Something has been done, I have to say, a reversal of the trend compared to recent years with the 2013 so-called stability law or the budget. Something has been done. Now we have investments which are increasing for the universities and their basic expenditure. They'll have a bit more than previous years now. And we have started a virtuous cycle of rewarding universities that prove to be better than the others. And this is a very important piece of information, because also internally we must start to distinguish between the universities that produce the best research and the best graduates than others. It took us 40 millions, and that's what we've put. But it's a beginning, and this is an avenue that the country has to continue along. Research tells us something more as well. It lays bare one of the key problems of our industrial structure, which is that of being too small. In fact, we have too many small enterprises compared to our competitors that have larger companies. And we must also operate on this system. We have to understand that certain innovations that we have taken, and which we took in 2012, for example, the de-taxing of investments in the company, that this was not exploited as we hoped. We have to invent something new. We have to think along the lines of enterprise networks so as we can allow our SMEs to carry out more research and therefore be more competitive with their European counterparts. I think this is the challenge that we have before us. The challenge is to invest more in the universities in Italy. Let me come to my function as a minister. I keep on saying councillor, but I'm a minister for the environment now. Now, I think that my ministry has a very important role for the growth and development of our country. And I consider the environment as a fundamental part of the growth and development of our country. It's not an element that gets in the way of development, but it's complementary to development. And I think that, in fact, the conditions are there to allow this, because all data shows that countries that have invested in a sustainable green economy have produced wealth for that country and have developed and given more jobs to their country. Obviously, it's a hurdle race, and it's a long race as well, and it requires considerable research effort. In the sector that I'm concerned with, we have to increasingly transfer research that the university produces to the business world. This is the challenge facing us. That transmission chain or belt has not worked fully in Italy yet. And I think that the public administration can play an important role, not only in the initial stages of basic research, which again is widely disconnected from commercial interest, but public activity and initiative should go even further along the chain, linking experimentation to commercial startups, and also linking in to private investment, which will then flow through to the business world. Therefore, we have to use instruments which, in fact, concern all the various steps along the line. We've done things, but much more still has to be done at the beginning of the technological chain. The birth of incubators, programs, pilot projects and so on have been initiated. For example, we have the Kyoto Fund, the development of avant-garde green technological materials, which links in the university research and also other agencies for energy efficiency. There's another thing. We have to break down ministerial barriers, making procedures swifter and ensuring less red tape. An Italian company finds it very difficult to go into the green sector because, in fact, they have 5 times more bureaucracy also in the sense of the time that it takes than other companies in other countries. I have put forward a proposal to the Senate and lower house that we take action on the environmental code. We have to simplify this, and we have to do this overall, and we have to give ourselves a bureaucratic administrative procedure on the basis of an environmental code which cuts down red tape and also the time it requires to have authorization. With regard to green technology, here too we have to change the way we go about things. Up to now, we have had a certain number of incentives, but the room for maneuver is in fact very little because there are no or very few resources, and therefore we have to encourage innovative developments and avenues and procedures. This will also, we believe, have an effect on the job market. In Europe, but statistics say in the last 10 years, jobs in the green economy have gone up by 4 million. This goes against the employment trends in other sectors. And over and above this, what we're interested in is the long as well as the short-term impact. In fact, there is, the enormous urgent need to do something about youth employment. And it is said that the green economy and sector is much more likely to be able to produce jobs for young people than any other sector. And the human resources can be used in manufacturing, especially graduate skills can be used in the green sector. And this is double the likelihood of graduate employment in other sectors. So we are being shown a road. We can bring together sustainable development and the environment with an increase in jobs and an increase in our country's development. If we succeed in doing this, I think we'll be doing our country a great favor. And with this, I'd like to conclude and thank AlmaLaurea once again.